Hey, this is Guy from New Plastic, and today we'll be rigging and animating the model we made in the last tutorial. For the animation, I'll be showing you how to use the Pose-Morph tag for easy animation without having to control each joint separately, so that'll be pretty cool. Again, feel free to support this channel by going to my Gumroad. I got the rigged and ready to animate model there, as well as unrigged models, and you'll be getting the cartoon skin pack with it, so yeah, fun. Follow me on Instagram at ojang, comment, subscribe, share, hit the bell, all that YouTube stuff, you know it. Let's go. So we got the model here. I'm going to undock the character tab. I'm going to select the join tool. I'm going to make sure root null is checked. The way I set the modifiers is left click is move, control left click is create a joint, and shift left click is to split the joint. But you can adjust it the way you want it. Now we're going to start by adding the first joint. I'm going to enable snap to vertex. I'm going to control click at the base of the arm. And then I can tick off the root null and I can start creating the rest of the hierarchy. So now we have the first joint. Let's kind of adjust it and align it to the center. We can zero everything out so they're both centered. Hit the joint tool and then control click around the wrist. And we still want it to snap where the wrist is. So we're going to control click to the base of the thumb and control click and control click. And we're going to do it roughly because after we're done, we're going to adjust it more accurately. And you'll see why. We're going to control click to the base of the fingers and we're going to center this joint. And again, we want it to snap to the center. So I'm always using all the orthographic windows to make sure I'm moving it to the right place. And control click to the base, control click to the middle, the second middle, and the tip. We're going to go back to the base of the fingers. Let's just rename everything. Let's go to the finger base and then control click to the base of the pinky. Then I'm going to control click to the tip and shift click where I want the joints to be. And that's just going to split that large joint. Just name them all. Then I'm going to select the hierarchy of the pinky. I'm going to control drag it to the index location. And now I quickly created another joint hierarchy for the index. I'm just going to rename it. And we can just kind of quickly align all of them. And let's move the thumb. Just align it to the right place. I want the base to be kind of in between the center of the thumb and the wrist. Just align the joints. Nice. Okay. Now we got everything kind of roughly ready. Let me just add another mid arm here. Let's call it. Or shift click to split it. Okay, so we have everything roughly ready, but it's important that all the joints are aligned to one another and also to their own direction. So in Cinema 4D, the best practice is to align the direction of each joint on its z-axis, which is the blue axis. So basically you want every joint to have a blue line pointing towards the direction that the joint is going, as well as have a green line facing forward. So what we're going to do is we're going to select all of our joints, go to character, commands, and align. And now you can see that all of our joints are aligned kind of in the right way. They're all aligned to each other. They're aligned to the same direction. You got the blue line pointing up and the green line pointing forward. That's great. We still have some fixes to do. Now let's rotate, let's start from the base. Let's rotate the base 90 degrees so that the green is pointing forward, but now everything is rotated. So we're going to click L and then rotate it 90 degrees. And then that's going to only rotate that joint without rotating everything. We're going to do the same with the mid arm, and we need to do the same with the wrist. Okay, now we rotated and everything got messed up. So let's just, again, zero out the fingers. And now we can just rotate the fingers back to how they were. Let's snap the vertex and drag them to the center of the middle finger. Now again, we want to align the green line to point forward and the blue line to point upwards. And now we can zero out all the rest of the joints. So I'm going to select all of them, 0, 0 on all the rotation, and 0, 0 on X and Y position, so that the only thing that changes is the Z position, which means the direction. So it's going up, so that's the only change. Now I'm just going to move the base of the fingers down. And let's just, now we can align each joint to the mesh point that we want it to bend. And we're going to keep doing that. We're going to select all the pinky base, zero out the rotation, and also zero out X and Y. And do the same with the index. And also, we don't want any 180 or 360. We want everything to be 0. It's just a better practice. Let's move them to the center of their fingers. Nice. Now let's fix the thumb. So let's 0 out its rotation, drag it to the position we want it to be. 0 out all of its children. And then I want it to be facing the same way the thumb is facing. That's good. Then I'm going to drag the base. I'm just going to align it with the fold. Everything is zeroed out. Yeah, looking good. Let me just go over everything, make sure everything is zeroed out, because that's really important. So what we have a lot here is we have like a main base to a joint. That's the top of the hierarchy. And then we got its children. And we want the children to be zeroed out to the position of their parent. So I always go and I select the children of a certain top hierarchy of a limb, and I zero out all the children. And the only thing that changes is the position across the limb. I don't want it to move on the X and Y axes. I don't want it to be rotated in different direction. I want all the directions to be zeroed out. That's going to be easier to animate, and it's also going to be easier to rig. It's just better practice. So always make sure everything is zeroed out to its top hierarchy joint of the limb. Okay, so once we're done with that, middle mouse click the top of the hierarchy and shift click the mesh. So we select all the hierarchy and the mesh. We're going to go to character, commands, that little icon next to the bind. And then we're going to put here the amount of joints that we have, in this case 22. Then I'm going to increase the distance a little bit and click OK. And now the hand is rigged. I'm going to click the weight manager, make sure all the joints are selected, make sure mode is smooth at 100% strength, and hit apply all. And that's just going to smooth out all the transition between the weights. And as you can see, if we select the weight tool and we click each joint, we can see the weight that it's affecting the mesh. That's the color. So the stronger the color, the stronger it affects that mesh. And now we can select the subtract tool, play with the strength and radius. I'm going to uncheck visible only so that it can affect also the back polygons, and start subtracting the parts we don't want that joint to affect. I don't want the mid arm to affect above the wrist. And this looks pretty good. Let's keep going. The wrist. So I don't want the wrist to affect under the wrist, and I don't want it to affect all these fingers. So I'm just going to go ahead with visible only unchecked and remove what I don't need. Then I'm going to go to the thumb. Then on the thumb, we'll take care of it later. Let's go to the base of the fingers. I'm going to remove all that area. I just want it to affect that area at the base of the fingers. I'm going to remove that top polygons from the fingers. I'm going to go to the weight tool, hit smooth, and that's just going to help me blur out all these jaggedy edges and transitions. And that's important. You always want to have the transitions as kind of blurry as possible. Remove some of this. And let's go to the pinky now. So this is the pinky base. Let's just see how it affects it. Let's just go over everything. Just see that, yeah, they're not that bad. There's not going to be a lot of work here. Just a little kind of detail work to make the joints be affected more smoothly and accurately. I'm going to remove all that bottom of polygons. Go to the pinky base. And I can see that it bled out to the middle finger. So I'm just going to subtract the effect from the middle finger. There's not a lot, but then I'm going to choose the intensity tool. And the intensity tool basically just affects the parts that are already affected. It's not going to add anything to parts that are not affected. So I'm just strengthening the parts that are affected. Go to the smooth tool and just smooth the transition. And we'll do the same with the rest of the joints. Again, I'm going to remove some of the bleeding to the middle finger. To make the intensity a bit stronger and smooth it out. Okay, looking pretty good. Make the intensity a bit stronger. And let's keep going to the next one. And this one looks pretty clean, so not a lot of work here. And now we can test all of them. So we're going to do the same thing with the middle finger. I'm just going to make with the intensity mode, I'm going to make the center of the finger part stronger. And I want the edges to bleed into the next part, so that each fold has a little bit of an effect from the bottom joint and from the top joint. So I'm cranking up the intensity on the center, and I'm smoothing out the intensity on the edges where the folds are. And I want them to bleed into each other just a little bit. This is pretty low poly, so sometimes I just need to click on one point to get that one polygon affected. And we're going to go to the next one, just remove all the polygons we don't want it to affect. And do the same here as we did on the last ones. Make the center more intense with the intensity mode, and make the edges more faded into each other with the smooth mode. Looking pretty good. And when I got a straight limb like that, I don't want the polygons on the left to be more affected than the ones on the right. Then we're going to do the same thing with the thumb. And the thumb, I want it to affect a little bit that base of the thumb, which kind of bleeds into the palm. So I'm just going to add a little more weight from the thumb into the palm. And once you start animating the joint, you can see how much of the mesh is being affected around that joint. And you want sometimes to make the weight bleed out a little bit into the surrounding polygons. Because, for example, when you move your middle finger, the base of the middle finger also stretches out a little bit of the skin under the surrounding fingers. And you want to do that a little bit. So you want to be strategic with how much a joint affects the surrounding polygons. If you do it too much, it'll fuck up your mesh as you animate it. But if you do it subtle enough, it'll help sell the movement. So yeah, that's too harsh of a fold, so I'm just going to smooth it out into the palm. So everything looks pretty good. So I see that the front of the palm is being affected when I rotate the base of the fingers. So I'm just going to remove the weight from that area. And I want to create a harsher fold there. So I'm going to subtract the bottom polygons under the wrist so they don't get affected at all, and then it creates that fold. Great. After I was done, I started animating. I went back and I kind of fixed some more stuff, because I told you, once you start animating more extreme positions, you see some mistakes that you've made, or you want to alter the weights. So yeah, when you animate, you can always go back and reapply or remove some weights so that it affects it in slightly different ways. So before we animate, let me show you how to flip this rig to create a left hand. Now for that, what you want to do is you want to select all the hierarchy of the joints, and then shift clicking the mesh. Then you go to the character menu and you hit the mirror tool, and it's pretty easy. All you need is the mirroring to be +/-. That's it. So everything else remains the same. You want to add a left prefix so that it'll separate it by name. All this remains the same, and then click mirror. And now it created this left hierarchy and a left mesh. The only thing we have to do is go to the original mesh, go to the weights tag, and remove all the left joints. And that's it. Now you got an identical mirrored mesh and rig. So that's really, really cool. So let's hide that for now. And let me show you how I animate it. Now you can go ahead and start keyframing each joint individually and animate it that way, but you'll be wrong. It's not the way to do it. It's not only impractical, there's also so much room for errors and mistakes. So what you want to do is you want to create an external system that affects these joints. And for that, we're going to use the Pose-Morph tag by right-clicking on the topmost joint of the hierarchy, going to character and selecting Pose-Morph. Then we're going to click on the tag, we're going to check hierarchy and also rotation, then go back to the basic tag and enable position too. Then we're going to go to the tag tab, and here we can add all the morphs that we want. So let's say we'll add a pinky bend, click on the pinky bend, we'll go to the pinky and start adjusting the position that we want. So we're going to bend the pinky all the way, kind of bend it inwards a little bit too. And also I like to bend the surrounding fingers just a little bit too. And that's it. It saved that position into that pose morph. And we can start adding more poses. And for example, we can bend the middle finger and the index. And I just keep adding poses for each finger bend. And here's an example. I bent the index and I can see that some of the pinky polygons are being affected. Yeah, so you can see that the pinky is being affected as well. So I'm going to go to the index and I'm going to look for which joint of the index affects that pinky area and a little bit of the middle finger area too, as you can see. I'm going to move them around, and yeah, I'm moving the index and I can see that it's affecting both those other fingers. So I'm just going to grab the weight tool on subtract mode and start subtracting those polygons from that joint. There you go. You can see that those polygons popped back. And I'm moving all the fingers around to see if they're affecting any unwanted polygons, and all good. And now I can go back to animating. I'm going to add a wrist bend too. And now you can go to the animate tab and control each pose individually. And look how cool it is. You don't need to rotate each finger individually. You can just adjust those sliders and do it and create your own poses. Or you can add specific poses. So for example, we can add a peace pose and simply rotate all the joints to achieve a peace pose. And as you can see, if I bend it to the side, it creates janky edges. So I'm just going to smooth out some of these polygons. I'm going to add a little bit of polygons being affected here. And now I got a peace pose. And I can do the same thing with a rock pose. And let me do the same thing here. And now I got these two poses, and I can just animate them in the animate tab. And I can also select them all, right click and add to HUD. And now it creates this interface for me, and I can control drag it to move it to the side. I can start keyframing the poses, and I can kind of shift between different poses. As I keyframe them, look how cool and easy. I can go to the curves and I can adjust the ease out and ease in of each curve to make it more alive and interesting. And look at that. This is such a powerful tool for these type of like simple animations. And let me show you how I use the signal plugin by Grayscale Gorilla, for example. I'm going to add 4 signal tags to the base. I'm going to drag each finger bend to each tag. I'm going to add a noise modifier and, loop it at 90 frames, slow down the speed. Then I'm going to give each one a different seed. And now I can play around with the amount of movement, and it just kind of loops this random movement of the fingers. Yeah, I love the signal tool. There's so many things you can do with it. Yeah, I think that's a really convenient way to animate poses. And that's it. The next tutorial is going to be about how to UV unwrap this model so you can texture it in the right way. It's going to be a quick one. Trust me, it's not as scary as it sounds. For years, I've been scared of UV unwrapping, and I'm still kind of am. But for this kind of simple model, it'll be pretty easy. So feel free to go on my Gumroad and get the rigged model or the unrigged model. It's slightly more refined than this one. I kind of refined the mesh a little more, and I refined the weights and the animations a little more. But you're going to do that too. As soon as you start to animate, you kind of you notice some mistakes that you made, but hopefully now you know how to approach it. So that's it. I love you. Have a great day. Peace.